Thank you very much, fellow Africans, and welcome to today's episode of the Change for African campaign. And so, fellow Africans, being on Friday, it's all about our fifth pillar of the Change for African campaign, where we discuss matters to do with the climate change that we face as an African continent. And so, fellow Africans, to help us exemplify that pillar, it will be the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 14, but its key target 14.1. The goal is all about life below water, but key target number 14.1 is all about that by 2025, which is this year already, they should have prevent and significantly reduce the pollution of our marine bodies, especially from the accumulation of plastics into our marine bodies, especially which come from the land surfaces. So it is at key target number 14.1, and there's that ambition of being able to prevent and significantly reducing the pollution of our marine waters, more so pollution that comes from the land. Here we're speaking about plastics which come from the land. We are speaking about we have some areas that are actually the deposits of the industrial waste. We have things to do with fertilizers being deposited into our marine bodies. So this is one of the things that we're speaking about, being able to reduce or prevent significantly pollution of our marine bodies through such pollutants. So, fellow Africans, looking at global statistics that are like by 2021, according to UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, a UNEP body, it's that almost 11 million, or about 11 million tons of plastics, not plastics only, but pollutants were deposited into our marine bodies, and 80% of these are actually plastics, meaning that plastics carry a very huge portion of this, that is globally. And also going further, Africa's share is not that huge. I've come to see that Africa contributes to about 4 to 7% of the marine pollutant, especially the plastics. This is about when you equate this to the 11 million, we are counting at about 400,000 to 770,000 tons every year. That is Africa as a continent. And one of the major, or some of the major countries that are involved in this, we have Ghana, we have Nigeria, we have Kenya, and we also have South Africa and some other few, because these are countries that are they have a huge population, but now when it comes to the sewage systems, or even the infrastructure that is supposed to be dealing with such areas of preventing a deposit of such materials into our waters, that develop, so they really contribute to that. So that is Africa, meaning that Africa is not badly off, but still it is an issue of concern. It's not badly off because we know, number one, Africa is not that industrial, so maybe it may not be on that very peak of being a main pollutant of these waters. But the other parts of the global, the other industrial powers, they really do a lot of that. But still, what is happening in Africa, still how mean it may seem, or how small it is, still that is also an issue of concern. That it is still an issue of concern because that percentage still is affecting a significant population in Africa when it comes to health matters. Because remember, these are plastics that are deposited into our waters, and in these waters, or this marine water, sometimes it's where we have these, or even any other part of the globe where we have these marine features, that are vivid consumed by human beings. But when you deposit such plastics into these waters, what comes is that these are things that actually they do feed. So when they feed on such plastics or on such materials, and later these are things that are harvested. These are the aquatic life is actually harvested. That one that is consumed by human beings. Of course, it's harvested and it's consumed by human beings. Meaning, a human being is consuming something that is already let me say maybe intoxicated, maybe for a lack of a better word. But then it is also an issue still, that we also need to take care of our marine bodies. We also need to make sure that we are very conscious when it comes to how we handle these plastics, and being able to come up with a relevant infrastructure systems that can be able to protect, or that can be able to prevent or facilitate the prevention of us depositing such materials into our water bodies. It is an issue of concern for Africa, though it may seem in the global perspective it's very minimal. But then also remember, the goal was very ambitious, that since it was adopted in 2015, those are 10 years ago, and that it was to have happened by this year. We are 2025 already, so meaning by the end of this year we'll be now assessing the full work. That is like assessing the whole thing, because now we have reached where we at the end of the term will be now coming. So we need to see, have we been able to do something? And if you're not able to do something, what are some of the steps you need to take? I know we have so many groups running different restoration activities, trying to restore our water sources in one or the other, prevent, cleaning such areas, and just doing the prevention of accumulation of plastic materials into our water systems, because that is the areas of blue economy. So these are still issues that we need to be very going to them with a very clear minds, knowing that these are important resources that we need to protect. So fellow Africans, allow me to end at that point.